Hi there. In this lecture we see Kyosti Rannanjarvi against Mikhail Tal in Reykjavik 1957. d4 from Rannanjarvi, and we see Mikhail Tal playing knight f6, knight f3, e6, g3 and now c5. This move not only hits white's centre, but it does vacate c7. And as you see more and more Mikhail Tal games, well, it happens to me anyway, the soft spots associated with the default castling, which is usually on the king side, are usually f2, g2 and h2. And you might wonder, so? Well, when you move the c-pawn, and we even see Tal with queen's pawn openings, when he moves the c-pawn, the queen's often on c2, eyeing the king, soft spot h7. Here, in reverse, a queen on c7 can eye the soft spot h2, and we become, it seems, more and more acutely aware of king's soft spots as a downside of the opponent's position when we look at Tal games, and this game is no exception. So just bear in mind we've vacated c7. So d takes, bishop takes c5, bishop g2, and it seems in principle this should be, pretty solid, pretty cozy for the king. d5, white does castle. Now Tal doesn't castle routinely. He lets white go wrong. The blunders are all there waiting to be played, and sometimes you do literally have to wait a bit longer for a certain type of blunder. And white plays knight fd2. This is a kind of mistake. It's inviting black not to castle now. Guess what Mikhail Tal plays? It releases control over h4. It is a kind of weakness of the last move. So guess what Tal plays in this position? Okay, yeah, why not just use the default rook position, h5? It activates the rook. Positionally, it will be undermining a pawn chain. Bonus points, the king's there. Knight b3, bishop drops back. So if the bishop dropped here, then maybe the pin's annoying bishop g5 because we have weakened g5. That is a concession. By playing h5, we weaken g5. So at least we want to be able to contest g5 potentially with this bishop. We see knight c3, and now ploughing on h4. And now g takes h4. This doesn't seem that solid anymore, white's king position. In fact, this diagonal seems more dangerous now. We have rook takes h4, bishop g5, rook h8, and white has this idea of kind of punishing black in the center with this move e4. But Tal plays a really powerful move in this position for 100 points. Guess what that is? Okay, it's knight takes e4. Now, it hits the bishop as well. So if knight takes e4, we're just going to play bishop takes g5, and we're much better here with black. We've caused structural damage. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a pawn up. Very, very nice position. And we can even play king f8 to sort out our king against any tactics like bishop takes d5. So white actually played bishop takes e7, pardon me. Instead of knight takes e4 here, white plays bishop takes e7. Now, for 500 points, and yes, I'm going to give you 500 points if you can make the opportunity on what usually is a routine recapture, that we're programmed from early on to do recaptures. But in the recapture opportunity, in that moment, there's often a wealth of opportunities on the chessboard. Do you see any other opportunity here? Any? Which should be considered? So, yeah, for 500 points, guess what Tal played in this position? Really, really strong move. Okay. Queen c7, threatening mate. Yeah. If queen takes e7, then, knight takes e4. White gets time to do this. And, okay, black's still doing very well. This is still a nice for black. But this is actually a little bit better, queen c7. So, forcing white to waste the move. And now we get to play knight takes c3, so hitting the queen, so another tempo gainer. So we've caused the shattering of the pawns over here, and now knight takes e7, which means queen takes c3 is threatened, and white didn't even bother protecting that White played rook c1. Maybe White wasn't entirely grandmaster strength. If queen d3, bishop d7, knight d4, you know, this position is still kind of terrible for White. White's, you know, under attack. It's just a terrible position indeed. You know, if the bishop moves, then h3 drops, but it seems as though, you know, black is threatening rook g5, for example. It's terrible. So anyway, we see rook c1, queen takes c3, and now this very desperate looking move, bishop takes d5. It's pointless, really. Tal has many winning moves here. It's totally pointless. The most straightforward in a way, knight takes d5, and so what? So what? You know, any rookie one, we can just do king f8 if needed. So what? We can also, you know, queen takes h3, threatens queen h2, mate. And then we can just take here. What has White got? This. There's no attack. The king can just go to f6. It's just absolutely winning for black. So yeah, this looks like a pointless move. Tal played e takes d5, and White resigns. So yeah, perhaps White wasn't great, but we do get, even though Tal's opponent was relatively weak, for me, actually, I'm starting to be more acutely aware of the queen c7 or queen c2 move as White. It shows that even when you play d4 openings, as soon as you play c4, it's not just about controlling the center. If you put your queen on c2 later, you are eyeing the king position. That's something to be kind of excited about and build up combinations and think about combinations in advance based on those wonderful possibilities that your queen's eyeing a soft spot. And we see that acute awareness highlighted here, that on a simple, potentially, you know, recapture for most players, that queen c7 was spotted. So this whole queen c7, queen c2 business amplifies the thoughts about the default king position when we castle kingside. What are the default soft spots? And for me also, you know, the default diagonal of death is also interesting to consider, that whole diagonal. So here is basically a parallel diagonal to the diagonal of death. It's a parallel road. This parallel road, when we're looking at that road or this road, they're parallel roads. So our queen position, which is the top scorer, can sometimes get onto those parallel roads, or the bishops. That's very, very good to be acutely aware, because I think it will make you anticipate combinations and brilliant ideas based on the opponent's king position when they castle kingside. So for me, yeah, it is actually a kind of instructive game in a way. I hope it is for you. Thanks very much. Hi there. Thanks for getting to the end of the YouTube video. If you would like to see other Mikhail Tal games, I actually have an amazing course for Mikhail Tal, which is currently at 4.9 with over 400 students. You can check this out from the Kingscrusher TV page. So Chess Strategy and Tactics, Mikhail Tal's amazing games. You can check out some free preview videos as well here. If you do expand all sections, you can see the preview links to get some free previews. So I hope you do check out this course index and the free previews. So I really had a thrilling time actually checking out Mikhail Tal's games. So yeah, the YouTube video here you saw was just a sample from this course. I hope you check it out. Okay, thanks so much. Oh, by the way, comments, questions, likes, shares, all appreciated. And if you did get to this part of the video, please do leave some sort of comment like Tal fan. Okay, thanks again.